Hi, beautiful people. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Honest Am here, the creator and writer of the Honestly Sis newsletter, a bi-weekly newsletter geared towards millennials who are truly trying to get their shit together. And I'm here for another daily motivational video where I use the tarot to become the alchemist of our lives and teach us how to become spiritual beings. A little bit about me. I did not just use the tarot. I use God and cusses in the same sentence. I may mispronounce some things, but if it does not stop Charlamagne God, it will not stop me. So I'm going to just start this message off with an affirmation. Dear God, guardian angels, and ancestors, what is the affirmation that we can use to go through this time of change? Please allow no room for doubt or confusion. In God's name I pray. Ashe. So, an affirmation that God would like us to use during our time of great change is I am open. Vulnerability is my strength, not my weakness. My openness attracts those who are beneficial to my highest good. When I lean into my feelings, I honor my truth. When I communicate my feelings in a loving way, I am speaking my truth. I am open. And so I am open along with this message of I am aware. And so God is saying he wants you to be open to being open to different opportunities, different ways of being. He wants you to be open to a different way of being in the world. I feel like this card speaks to vulnerability is my strength, not my weaknesses. You know, so much in this world we have been taught like it's not, you know, it's weak to cry and all of this stuff. But the more and more I learn about spirituality, the more and more, not even spirituality, the more that I work on my relationship with God and I learn about myself, I'm just learning that our emotions are so powerful and our emotions are our tools to manifesting. I feel like when you do things from a mental way, I feel like that's how you can get stuff and not really keep it. But when you really make a change from your heart, from your inside out, your heart is like the most powerful generator there is. That's when you really make, you really shift your life from the inside out. And so God is telling you that if you are having these moments of where, you're crying or you're crying or you don't feel good or you're just like something is making you feel dis-easy or discomfort, I think you should take that time to like really sit in it and ask yourself like why do you feel this way? Like what is this feeling trying to teach you? Because if you do that 9 times out of 10, I feel like then you can these feelings are really coming up to be acknowledged. And sometimes we have feelings and then we push them down because we're like, oh, I don't have time for that. But then, after a while, it can just come up and that's when we have these things called triggers. And so to stop having triggers and these big emotional and sometimes violent outbursts, God is saying, really be vulnerable, cry, have that moment of just being like, look, I'm not okay. I don't have it together. I called my mom the other week and I was just like, can you pray for me? Because I'm not in a good headspace. And like, it took a lot for me to say that. And like, angel number 323, a part of me, she prayed, but it was like, she wasn't asking me like, what's going on? Or is there any way I can help you? And like, it really hurt me even more. And it's like, yeah, I felt better from the prayer, but it was just like, I'm kind of glad that I took that moment to be vulnerable, to go to her so that I could see for myself, like without, having all of these emotional outbursts, without having the past attached to it, and just really be like, damn, like I don't have a mom, like I don't have what a lot of, other people have. Like I don't have this safe haven in my mom. And there's a part of me that just really, really longs to be nurtured and really, really longs to just be loved. And it's like, I get how I've gotten into so many crazy toxic situations because of that feeling, because I've been constantly wanting that. And to be completely honest, like even the people that, really hurt me, like they had her same sign or they had the same sign as my dad. And so it's like, it just shows how like I've been constantly looking for, this place of love. I've just been, like low key like a fucking puppy, just trying to get it wherever I can. And it's like, I realize I'm like, I don't want to feel this way anymore. Like I'm not about to keep, opening myself up to people. Let me not even say that, because I don't mean that. It just acknowledged that that's what I want. I know I'm like 33 years old, and like maybe some people are like, girl, you should just get over it. But I know in my heart, like, that's just a big sore spot for me. Like, I was watching Everything Everywhere all at once, and like I was in there fucking boo-hoo crying, because I'm like, fuck. Like, and at one point I was like, I just want a mom. Like, I just want to fucking be loved and nurtured, and like not have to fucking be an adult to my parent. Like, it's like, that shit is frustrating. But that's my reality, and acknowledging that, it just makes so much sense of why my life has been what it is. It's like honoring my truth, leaning into my feelings. Like, if I'm being honest, like, I'm in this place where I don't have friends, like, for real. Like, yeah, I have people I can call, but like, I'm just realizing I don't have like what I need. I need to, I'm not gonna break down. It's like, I need to have these safe spaces. Like, I need to have people who really see me. Like, I'm tired of having like superficial ass relationships. And it's like, I'm at this point in my life where it's like, I would rather be alone than keep being around people and feeling lonely. Like, that is like the worst fucking feeling in the world, to be, surrounded by people, but still feeling this emptiness, And so it's like, I'm just accepting, like, that's who I am. And for a long time, I used to be like, oh, I don't want to be, I used to feel weak because I wanted love. I used to feel like, why can't I just be like everybody else and just, not care, or, act like I don't care, or whatever. It's like, why do I feel, like, why do I feel so much? Like, sometimes I don't want to feel what the fuck I feel. I wish that I could just turn it off. But it's like, I don't know what it's like. Honestly, I don't know. I'm just at this point in my life where I'm done shaming myself for who I am. Like, like, my mom used to always be like, you just not like your brother and me. Like, you just care, and da 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 da. And it's like, I'm just not a selfish person. I'm not an evil person, and whatever the fuck it is. Like, I just want love, and I want to have genuine friendships, like people who I can have a fucking conversation with, and like actually like talk to them, and like tell them what I'm going through, like. And I don't have that in my life, and it's really fucking hard. And I have to recognize, like, I don't have it because I don't even have a fucking relationship with my mom. So how can I have a relationship with other women, And if I'm being real, I feel like something's wrong with me because of that. It's like, why I have to be the fucking one that have to have a fucking narcissistic mom? Like, why me? Like, why the fuck do I have to have this shit? And like, I'm realizing that I'm not alone. Like, I'm not the only person who has to go through this shit. But media and like, TV shows and, all this shit like makes it seem like everybody mama is amazing and that everybody have these great ass childhoods, or either you have really, really fucked up childhood where you was fucking abandoned and your parents on drugs and all of that stuff, or like you had an amazing one. And it's like, well, what about the ones where you thought your mom was a good mom and then you realize later on she's a fucking narcissist? Like, what about that? Like, you know, my mom, like when I was growing up, she was a really great mom, you know, like, and I don't know if that's because that's the role she wanted to play at that time. You know, at that time, my grandmother was alive. So was it like her wanting to, you know, show my grandmother this is who she is? And then my grandmama passed away and then we saw this different person. Like, I don't know. Shit, my mom also had an aneurysm. So I'm like, did that take part of her personality? I don't fucking know what it is, you know? And issue number 1048. But I do realize, like, I'm not about to keep shaming myself for it, like, or just feeling like something is wrong with me. Like, I'm just going to take all the shit I've been through and, like, really look at the strength of who I am, because I grew up in an environment like that. But I don't act that way. I don't, you know, I don't go out here trying to manipulate people, trying to get over on people, trying to shame, you know, like, and I have to stop saying this, but it's like, I'm a good-hearted person. I'm a kind person, you know, regardless of what the fuck I've been through. And so it's like, I'm trying to just see the strength in that and be like, you know, like, it's honestly a fucking miracle that you even still want love, that you even believe in love, that you even still have hope for God in the future when you had all of this shit, you know, happen. Like, it's very easy to, like, give up on life, but I didn't. I did the opposite. And instead, like, I'm just going to be like, you know, I'm for the women who get their self-confidence later in life. I'm for the late bloomers. Like, this is the lane that I'm going to be in. I'm going to speak about my fucked up, turbulent relationship with my parents and, you know, my absent father and, like, knowing my father, but also, damn, not knowing my father. He may as well be a stranger. And it's like realizing that having these type of parents and these type of relationships put me in this space to where it was easy for people to say they love me, but not treat me like they love me, because I've been feeling that my whole life. And so everything that I talk about on this channel, everything I talk about, honestly, sis, like in my everything, it's like showing you how I'm deprogramming myself, how I'm reclaiming myself, how I'm finding myself. And like, I feel like that shit's fucking worthy to be talked about. I feel like that's a good enough fucking platform, you know, like that's a brand. Like, I'm just tired of like everybody, all of these TV shows being like, oh, I have 2 and 3 friends and I have my friend group and I have my mom I can go through and that's not fucking reality. That's not everybody's reality. And I want to be there for the people who had to fucking fight for their shit, who had to fight for their innocence, to like be who they are, to find themselves later in life. You know, everybody don't fucking have friends from 10, 15 years ago. Like, where the fuck are those stories? And so, you know, instead of judging myself, I'm just recognizing that I'm speaking to another, you know, like my, you know, who I represent, what I'm trying to be is something that's not represented in the mainstream. And it's probably not something that's even, you know, gonna be celebrated, you know, because like I don't fucking believe in the church. I don't even think God like the church. Like it's just so much shit that I have been taught and conditioned in my childhood that I just don't fucking believe in anymore. And it's like I'm just trying to unravel and just like find myself in all of that and show y'all like how to do it. And I just feel like it's gonna work. I told you I'm a big interview person, and I just see like when people are true to themselves, when people are authentic, when people are not trying to be gimmicky, like they make it, and they don't, you don't have to compromise themselves. And that's all I'm trying to do. Like, I'm not trying to fucking make it and then become an asshole. Like, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. And if I could be happy as an accountant, I would be happy as an accountant, but that's not how my path is, Like, I have to go into this world of entertainment. And I know, like, I've had people in my life look at me crazy because of that. Like, oh, you're chasing fame. But it's like, bitch, if it could have been something else, I would have picked something else. But this is where my soul is going. So anyways, God, give us a tool that we can use, and tell us why it's so important for us to be open. Why is vulnerability our strength? And why is it so important for us to just speak our truth and, accept our feelings? Why do you want us to be aware of aware of this openness? Allow no room for doubt and confusion in me of your mind. Allow me to just stop rambling, God. Give us one card that we can get into. One card for this I am open. All right, we're just gonna take the top. And the top card, the essence of my every desire can be fulfilled. If your time-space reality has the wherewithal to inspire a desire within you, it is our absolute promise to you that your time-space reality has the ability to deliver in full manifestation form the reality of your desire as it has inspired. The essence of any and all desires can be fulfilled unless you are holding yourself out of alignment with your own desires. The feeling of competition or shortage or limitation or resources mean you are out of alignment with your own desires. This is what God wants you to be aware of. He wants you to be open. I think that's why it's so important for you to feel your feelings, because your feelings are showing you what you really desire. I really desire love. I really desire to be in like an environment where I am noticed and appreciated and respected for my mind and for my intelligence, and not like cast off or put aside. I want to be in an environment where I can tell my mom like I'm in a bad headspace, and she not just pray for me, but come over and be like, let's go for dinner, let's go, like our feelings, even the shit we don't want to feel, even what we don't want to acknowledge, is telling us the truth. It's telling us what we really, really want. And in order to get that, we have to acknowledge it. And also, it's saying the feeling of competition or shortage or limitation means you are out of alignment. Now, I told y'all I used to feel like there was a part of me that felt like, oh, there's something wrong with me, that I don't have a good relationship with my mom, and I don't have friends, so that means I'm a loser. That means that I'm not a good person. Like, I'm really gonna have to do some work about this good person shit. Like, I don't know where the fuck that came from, but it's like, it's something that drives me trying to be a good person. I'm a good person. Anyways, so it's like, I'm realizing like, while I didn't choose this. This is my reality. I think I have been doing a lot of work. I tell y'all all the time where I'm like actively trying to do something. And right now I have been focusing on surrendering and taking the path of least resistance. And a part of being in the path of least resistance is accepting that where you are is where you're supposed to be. It's jumping your ass in this river and like not going against the current. A lot of us, we're in our current life, but we like, I'm not supposed to be here. And it's like, bitch, if you weren't supposed to be here, you wouldn't be here. It's number 1842. But the fact that you're there, that you're in a situation saying you're not supposed to be there, means you're supposed to be there, right? And so it's like, instead of like being like, oh, I don't want to be this person who not have friends. I don't want to be this loser. Like, instead of having that type of thought process, accepting that this is my reality. I don't have friends. I don't have a good relationship with my parents. And this is where I am. Accepting that this is my reality. This is the lane I'm in. I don't have, mentors and all of these people to say who helped me. I'm building myself. That's the lane that I'm representing. And so I have to know that in my vulnerability and my weakness, that by me speaking my truth, by me being honest on here, that there may be some people who still judge me, but the more and more I speak my truth and the more honest and the more authentic I am, what I'm going to attract to me are those people and those things that are just like me. The more, and it's like, what this message is really trying to get us to understand is that it's not about the outside world. Yes, these things happen to us, but it's our judgment of ourselves that is blocking us from our destiny. We can have all the things that we desire, but it's not wanting to feel it, not wanting to acknowledge it. Oh, we judge the Kardashians because, oh, what they got, it's so easy. They just rich. They just beautiful and rich and they get famous for no reason. Okay, that's because there's a part of you that also wants to be rich and famous for no reason, but you feel like, oh, because I didn't have this. Again, the limitation, the competition. That's you have to acknowledge that. If they can do it, I can do it too. If they could do it with no talent, I can do it with talent. I can do it with a plan. I can do it with a product. I can do it with a business. Instead of hating on bubble rappers, respecting them. If they can if they can make millions and millions and have people and fans after them, I can too. It's acknowledging these haters, acknowledging those moments where you had jealousy and hate towards people, and acknowledging the truth about it, that you want whatever you're hating on. Because 9 times out of 10, that's what you is. When you're super jealous of something, it's because you wish you had that, because you feel like there's something within you that you can't have it, and so you just hate on it and be like, you have to find a reason to tear it down. But God is saying, no, acknowledge that you also want that too. Acknowledge that you feel there's something missing in you, and if you can just acknowledge that, then maybe God can give that to you. Okay. Angel number 2120. I'm going to leave a message there. Right underneath this is my every thought is attracting its vibrational essence. So this is why God is really wanting us to work on not having like strife within ourselves, because that's why I really feel like this is talking about is like not being true to ourselves, okay? And also not really believing that we can have those things that we desire. And so instead of accepting that we want it, we hate on other people who have it. So God is really trying to give us this message to be open about our weaknesses, to be open about our jealousy, and be open about our desires and the things that we really want, okay? Angel number 2202. I'm going to end this message with a word from our conversation with God. Affirmations do not work if they are merely statements of what you want to be true. Affirmations work only when they are statements of something you already know to be true. The best so-called affirmations is a statement of gratitude and appreciation. Thank you, God, for bringing me success in my life. Now that idea, thought, spoken, and acted upon, produces wonderful results. When it comes from true knowing, not from an attempt to produce results, but from an awareness that results have already been produced. I'm going to just pause because right here it says, when it comes from true knowing, not an attempt to produce results. And so what God is saying is that we don't say these affirmations, I am open, I am safe, just because because we want God, we want to bring that feeling about of I'm safe, I'm wanted. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I guess so. The way that I'm reading this is that God is saying, don't just say, I want $1 million because for the sake of saying you want $1 million. Like you just want it. You're saying it because you think that if you say it, God will give it to you. No, that's not going to bring it to you. But God is saying that if you have this awareness that, hey, God, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. What I'm going to do, what I'm going to produce is going to bring the value of $1 million. And so that's why I am asking for $1 million, or that's why, whatever. I just feel like what God is saying is that he doesn't want you to say these affirmations and to say these statements because you want him to give it to you, but because you know it's already done. It takes me back to a message that I had previously on the channel where I was talking about there's a difference between knowing and understanding. A lot of you guys, and I'm guilty of this for myself, for the last 2 years, I have been going from a mental knowing of God into more of a mental understanding of God and spiritual concepts into more of a knowing. And the knowing is when you are actually being and you're moving in action. And so it goes back to that thing about faith. And so it's like you move in faith. So you make the steps without knowing what's the end results, meaning that you start the business, meaning that you write the book, meaning that you do the business, you do the fast fashion line, knowing that as you are doing these steps to actually produce this product, God is going to bring you resources. He's going to bring you the right people about, and then eventually it will take you to a place to where you are financially safe, you are financially stable, and you probably may have even $1 million. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a difference from just being like, God, give me $1 million, give me $1 million, and you ain't doing shit, to where you're being like, God, I want this $1 million, and then you're actually moving and creating the avenue for God to deliver you that $1 million. Okay? All right, let's finish up. Jesus had clarity. Jesus had such clarity. Before every miracle, he thanked me in advance for his deliverance. It never occurred to him not to be grateful, because it never occurred to him that what he declared would not happen. The thought never entered his mind. So sure he was of who he was and his relationship to me, that his every thought, word, and deed reflected his awareness, just as your thought, words, and deeds reflected yours. So it take it back to, there's a difference between feeling like you know God and that you're a child of God, of like really understanding that God created you and he created the desires, all of those things was a reflection of what God wanted in the world. And so if you know that what you want, God wants, then you also know that if you what you want, God wants, God is going to provide a way, right? And so you move and you speak and you move in that way, right? And so that's why God is saying it's so important to acknowledge what you want, because the discontentment, the you wanting it, but then you judging it and not accepting it, that's why you can't get it. But if you just accept, oh, I want this, I'm worthy of having, and then I don't even think it's about worthy of having this. I want this. I know that God wants this for me. And since God wants this for me, he will deliver an outlet for me to have it. Okay. We just have to go into this knowing. Last thing, if now there is something you choose to experience in your life, do not want it, choose it. Do you choose success in worldly terms? Do you choose more money? Good. Then choose it. Really, fully, not half-heartedly. Yet at your stage of development, do not be surprised if worldly success no longer concerns you. And so what God is saying at this point in your life, if you want a better life, if you want to change your careers, if you want to, build a family unit, or you want to have a better body, or whatever the fuck you want, don't just want it. Start moving in that direction as if it's already done. That's the problem. So many of us are just sitting back. I want it, but we're not willing to do a goddamn thing to make it happen. And we're not willing to even be vulnerable enough to be like, God, I don't know how to make it happen. I want it, but I don't know how to make it happen. If you would just say that, God, I really want a better life. I really want shit to be better. I don't want chaos. I don't want toxicity. I don't want to be ruled by the shit anymore. I want peace. I don't know how to get it, but I want peace. I'm open to doing things a better way. I am open to doing things a better way. That's an affirmation that you can actually believe, right? An affirmation that you can walk in. Because when you wake up every day, you're moving as though you're open for a new way to do things. So which means you're doing your journaling, which means that you're taking that time out to, really figure out, what do you want to do with your life? How did you get here? How can you get somewhere else? You're not just saying, I want it, but you're moving in such a way that you're bringing it to you. I very, very quickly, there was a quote that Dr. Michael Bedford said on a Super Soul Conversation. You can only have what you're willing to become. You can only have what you're willing to become, which meaning that you actually have to be in that vibration and that energy of it, which means it goes back to this thing about God having that awareness. Jesus having that awareness. He didn't have a doubt in his mind that whatever he asked God wouldn't be automatically delivered to him. But the only reason that is stopping us from dropping into our Jesus potential is that we don't believe that what we want can actually come true. So my next message, I'm going to do a blockage reading to figure out why that is the case. But until then, I want you to think about, what life are you choosing to have today, and what makes you think that you can't have it? All right. Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you, and never, ever, ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. Namaste. I will see you tomorrow.